Hi, I'm Jillian Conklin, and today I will be talking about why rhetoric and Aristotle's three, or should I say four, pieces of rhetoric is important in speeches and persuading an audience. Rhetoric is an essential piece of communication. It is known as the art of persuasion, and Aristotle defines it as the faculty of observing in any given case and the available means of persuasion. This means finding the best way of persuading an audience. And Aristotle classifies different ways in which that are best to persuade different audiences, and these are known as ethos, logos, pathos, and the most contemporary and modern one that has been added to the triangle, mythos. And ethos establishes the speaker's credibility and their credentials, and logos uses logic and facts to further back up the speaker's argument, and then pathos is basically using emotion to persuade an audience, so swaying the audience's emotions, and then finally mythos is using a cultural narrative to further back up the speaker's argument, or using a cultural connection / story to an audience. And furthermore, ethos within a speech, a speaker may use ethos to appear more credible and more reliable to the audience, or be looked at as a higher authority to the audience. So a good example of this would be in current times, such as a big, huge authority would be Dr. Fauci, who is pretty much very credible. He was around during the AIDS crisis within the 80s, and a lot of people listened to him, for the most part. And for example, when he said to stop the further spread of COVID, wear masks and stay 6 feet apart. And we're not going to get into people that didn't follow that, but for the most part, people, believed that and trusted it as credible because he is a good, credible source and is, for the most part, reliable. And secondly, logos. Logos would just be used if a speaker just brings up quotes from other sources, studies, statistics like charts from studies or research. And then there are two types of reasoning that are connected with logos, which would be inductive and deductive reasoning. Now, inductive reasoning would be using your observations and your judgment and your logic to back up an argument, saying for example, gravity, if I throw something up, it falls down, then gravity must be real. Deductive reasoning would be using a source such as Newton's law or other theories, possibly from a physicist such as Stephen Hawking, and that would be an example of deductive reasoning. And then moving on to pathos, an example of pathos in a speech, let's say you are trying to raise a fund and you're trying to get people to donate to a hurricane relief fund. So to donate money to help rebuild houses and then, help give people food. And to sway the audience to give their money, you would probably just show pictures of the destruction, the aftermath of the hurricane, and, people crying and stuff like that. Stuff that you would normally see on TV. And then finally, mythos, which is, I had never heard before until this class, but mythos is very new, very modern, and basically it just uses people's cultural background. So saying Americans, yes, we are all different, but our country was founded on unity. And that would furthermore make people be more patriotic. And that is my analysis on Aristotle's rhetoric and why is it important to be used in speeches. Thank you for listening.